Thank you ever so much. Thank you, David. And good afternoon. My name's Trevor Hewlett from West Suffolk College in Bury St Edmunds. I'm really pleased to be here today. I'm very excited to be able to share with you a very small part of our journey in terms of our progress with maths and English. What I'll aim to do over the next few minutes is introduce you to our college, talk to you about how we've taken maths and English as the #1 area to improve within our college, then let you know about how that's impacted on our staff development, and with the help of many ETF-funded projects, how that's really impacted our classroom behaviour and significantly helped improve and upturn the results that we've been able to put out this year. I'll finish up by sharing some of our top tips from this year. West Suffolk College is based in Bury St Edmunds, as I say. Our turnover is around about 25 million, and we have around about 3,016 to 18 students that we look after. Of those, around half are studying at level 3. But as David has already indicated, we have a significant increase in GCSE enrolments. Now, maths and English is really at the core of our college, and it runs up and down the spine of everything that we do. In terms of team development, the ETF has been incredibly significant in developing our team. One of the ways that the college has demonstrated this commitment to maths and English is through our own internal quality review processes. Typically, we start our academic year with the focus on maths and English. We're consistently and constantly asking our staff, are we giving the students the best possible learning experience? We take time to wander into every single classroom, to review our desktop processes, and really importantly, to meet with the staff and analyse our data. This leads to individualised development plans for each one of our members of staff. And this is where the ETF has really worked hand in glove with our own organisation. We have a real desire to upskill not only our maths and English team, but also the skills of our vocational staff. And we've taken many staff through ETF-funded programmes for maths and English. And significantly, we've also been involved in the Level 3 Core Maths programme. We work not only with the ETF on a national and regional basis, but also on a very local level, and attend many of the regional events to look at classroom practice. One meeting took place very recently, and I show this slide for a number of reasons. To really introduce to you that the ETF is working with the college on a very much a two-way basis, and to show all of you that Mike Harwood has actually got a presence on the internet. So if you search on the West Suffolk College site, you'll be able to see Mike actually has a presence on Twitter. But on a serious note, we met with Mike on Tuesday, and as I said before, the two-way dialogue and how we're going to move forward and progress maths and English is absolutely key. At a very local level, the regional training that we go through with the ETF has really shaped and informed how our whole approach to teaching GCSE. As David's already said, it's a real challenge for us because we have significant numbers of students who essentially feel like they failed at some point previously at school and come to us having to do a GCSE reset. As teachers, we are often really keen to try and teach the students absolutely everything, but we only have a year to do this. Through the ETF regional networks, we were able to develop a completely new style of delivery for our GCSE provision. That focuses on the work-ready skills that the students need, not only to, as I say, be ready for work, but also to succeed in their exam. So every single session now ends with a series of exam questions. We have completely aligned and changed the approach that we take when we're looking at delivering to our students. So this is a typical example of all of the topics that students would need to know in just one of our sessions. But we've taken the line where we rag rate each of the different topics and really focus in on those key topics that are needed to get through the exam, and said that will apply to work. The other thing that we do, and this has again been significant input from the ETF, is we focus on building character for each one of our students. We do this on a very regular basis with maths and English and take the step of encouraging the students to actually self-assess their work at the beginning and at the end of each lesson. As I said, really developing the strength of character and the confidence to know that you can actually do something has made a massive difference and impacted hugely on our success. Now again, as David has already said, success in maths and English has proved tough. It's been a very long journey, but I'm really pleased to be able to demonstrate now that our GCSE and functional skills pass rates for maths and English across all age groups are now significantly above national rates. Even more pleasing, I guess, is that the 16 to 18 success has been significant. 60% of our English students studying English with ourselves and 40% of students studying maths with ourselves have improved their grade. Again, we're bucking the trend, and figures that were recently released by the AOC tell us that typically as students progress in their college career, their success in maths and English tends to diminish. That's not the case with us at West Suffolk College. Because of the input of the ETF and the way that we're regularly updating our staff cohort, the consistency that we're now delivering means that 17-year-olds are actually far more successful, that students are far more successful in their second year than they are in their first year. To that end, in year two, 2/3 of students in year two were successful in comparison to just a third at age 16. We've also been able to identify that the higher the level of study for a student, the better the success is with regards to maths and English. Again, this tends to flow from the buy-in that the students get and where their journey is going to take them to. In terms of our top tips, we are very forensic in how we analyse our data. I mentioned before the approach that we took to change our strategy when delivering our GCSE provision. The amount of analysis we did, we spotted that there was a need to change processes kind of mid-year. And it was a very difficult decision. Do we change or do we wait to the beginning of the next academic year? We didn't do that, and I would encourage everybody in here that's got the opportunity to influence policy to encourage people to really, and organisations to really analyse their data, understand if there is an issue with maths and English, where that issue is, carry out some really thorough research and take a risk-based approach, but to step away from managing the project to really taking a lead. The ETF has allowed us to do that, both at the local level and some of those discussions we were having with Mike on Tuesday. We have made maths and English our #1 priority. Again, with the help of the ETF, we've been able to make sure that that message is spread throughout the college. We've developed, though, a top-down approach. So from the governors, from the principal downwards, the right message, the right information is spread right across college. Now, what I've done is place a number of the resources that I've touched on briefly. So the 5R approach that we take to teaching GCSE and a number of the classroom strategies are now on a Padlet, which I'd be more than happy to share. And just in summary, as I say, I really wanted to take this opportunity to thank David and a number of people in this room for all of the help and support that ETF have given us very recently. Thank you.